we thought because the tap-ins weren't on the side, it was going to be a lot easier to pipe up, but every pipe has got across each other, so it worked out it wasn't easier. Bent that one down, you see there, and sort of dog-legged it because I've got to get this cover on. You only get a small cut out, but other than that, it's been all right. Everything's pretty much piped up. What's up guys, thanks for tuning into my latest video, the life of a jobbing plumber. I wanted this video to go out on Sunday. It's now Tuesday. It's silly season, just been crazy busy. And funny story, I was meant to be in Northern Ireland now. I got up at 4 AM this morning to fly to Northern Ireland, and I realised that I'm not meant to be in Northern Ireland today, it's tomorrow. So I got that wrong. Luckily, I've got plenty of jobs I can drop onto. So I'm just going to go to look at a gas fire, and I've got a Worcester with no hot water to look at. So, and then loads of other stuff. Anyway, this week's video, as always, sponsored by Velocity Pro Gear Tool Bags and Power Tool Mate. Now, don't forget, it's the Black Friday sales this weekend. I know Velocity have got 15% off all of their kit bags. It's a great time to buy a kit bag if you want one. And obviously Power Tool Mate will have a sale on as well. Everyone's got sales on. Unilite's got one. The Unilite one, if you use PB25, I've got one here. They're doing these limited edition blackout. So they're all black versions of their torches. There's only 100 of these been made. So yeah, if you buy something in the sale using PB25, you can get one of these. Yeah, so just a couple of things to tell you. Last week I started again with Lawton Tubes, going around the colleges. We went to Chesterfield College to talk to the students. Basically, we talked to them about how copper is mined, where it comes from in the world, how they make it into the tube that we use. I do a little talk on how I got to where I am, from, you know, starting my apprenticeship all the way through to now. And then we do some pipe bending stuff and the pipe bending challenge. And one of the students can win the main prize, which is one of my kit bags. And we give away little prizes as well. It's completely free. So if you want me and Robert to come to your college, just drop me a message on Instagram. We'll travel all over the UK. Or email Robert at Lawton Tubes. Get your college tutors to get in touch with him and we'll sort it out. I think that's it. I have got another video coming out hopefully on Saturday, another one of my meal prep videos that's been a long time coming, so look out for that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this week's video. Cheers, thanks for the support. Right, so this will start, we've got no hot water. Now you'll notice I've turned the thermostat on the heating off. Heating's working fine. When I got out of the house it's nice and warm. When you open the hot tap, the tap doesn't get hot, but I'm going to open the hot tap now and show you. When I open the hot tap, the boiler does fire for hot water. So we've not got an issue with the flow sensor. We've got an issue somewhere else. So let me show you this. So it's idle at the minute. Open the hot tap. Yeah, the boiler's kicking in. Fire it up. Now what I've done, I've got my temperature probes, one on the hot water outlet and one on the central heating flow. This is my hot water outlet, this is the central heating flow. And you can see the central heating flow is increasing in temperature. So that's telling me straight away the issue is with the diverter valve, and it's letting the heat go to the radiators through the flow rather than through to the hot tap. See, the hot tap's not budged. It's just got colder because we're bringing more fresh cold water through. It's a real quick way of proving you've got an issue with your diverter valve. So this is my diverter valve here. There's the motor, and this is the paddle it pushes up and down. So a trick on these, you turn the power off. Now when we put the power back on, you'll hear this motor start to do its thing, and it should move this paddle up and down. So you can see that that's stuck, it's not moved at all, so that's the issue. So what I'm going to do with the power off, so I'm going to bring this out and then we'll check it out of position, see if it moves. So put the power back on. See how that's moved? So that's proved that this pedal here is what's sticking. So what I'm going to do is just grab it. Up and down a bit. And then I'll push this back in. Now I've put the power back on. Okay, and then we'll run the hot tap. Remember that. Straight away you see we've got some temperature. There we go. Now I've got working hot water. Good afternoon YouTube, and welcome to today's episode of jobs that I do not want to do. So tenants reported that the tiles have come loose, grass coming out, starts on this one here. This one's alright. A little bit there. But all the way along, right into the corner, they're all loose. And then you've got your classic silicone that looks like it's been smoothed on with someone's elbow. So that's all got to come off. So first job, I am going to scrape the silicone off and take off as many tiles as I can. I think there's a spare under the bath, so I can get rid of this one where someone's filled in these holes. This is how easy that came off, because the water's got behind it. Fair old gap to fill. Right, so I've took 5 tiles off, cleaned all the grout out, took as much silicone off as I can for now. Now I've got to make a plan. So the wall, it's not too bad, it's dry, apart from there's a little bit that was crumbling there. But I think I might get away with just letting this dry out tonight and then PVAing it before I refit the tiles. Now, did find one under the bath, so that will replace the one with the holes in it. The rest of them though, I'm going to have to clean all that silicone off. It's been silicone 2 or 3 times. Obviously got to get the adhesive off the back, so that one, that's the one that's going to go in the bin. So a bit labour intensive cleaning them up. If I went and got some more tiles from say B&Q, because that's a standard tile, the batch will be different and they'll stick out like a sore thumb. They won't be the same shade of white. So yeah, unfortunately you're going to have to end up cleaning those up. Yeah, I don't know, what would you do? Everything else is pretty solid. So, landlord doesn't want to spend much money on it. Typical. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Right, so because I've got to reuse the tiles, I need to get the adhesive off the back. So I had an idea. I thought I'd leave them in water overnight to hopefully soften the adhesive. And I wasn't sure if it's going to work or not. And I guess it all depends on the adhesive as well, but this has been soaking overnight. This is how easy it's coming off. Literally just scraping off like that. It's hard to do with one hand, but you can see how easy that's coming off. So I'm just going to clean these all up. I mean, that's the one that's going in the bin actually, because that's the one with the holes in. But I've done most of them. They just need a little bit of a scrub down now. I've scraped as much silicone off as I could with the Stanley knife, but I'm probably gonna get some of that you know, CT1 do a spray, I can't think what it's called, multi-solve or dissolve spray to get the remnants of the silicone off, because no matter how much you scrape it with a knife, you can still get a bit left on. So I've still got that to do, but I'm pleased with how easy that's come off. Saved me a few hours. Right, so the tenant's been really good. They've let this dry out for a few days. The wall's bone dry now. Even the bit that was sort of a little bit damp is dry. So what I'm going to do now is coat this in PVA, and then I'm going to stick the tiles back in. Now, the reason I think the adhesive came off the old tile so easy is because it was put on with ready mix adhesive that comes in a tub. So I'm going to put this on with proper adhesive that I'm going to mix myself, make a proper job of it. Once these are on, and then I'm going to clean up the hole. See, there's a bit of silicone still there. I'm going to spray that with that silicone remover. I'm also going to take off the silicone behind the taps and up the wall, and then redo the silicone. But yeah, I'm pleased with how that's dry. PVA on the wall, just going to let that dry. Right, that's the new tiles in. Didn't use spacers, I've just got them to match as best I could. So let them go off. I use the packet mix that you mix up yourself. It says it takes about 3 hours. So I'm going to go off and do another job and then come back and grout these in. So I've removed as much silicone as I can off the back of the taps now in the corner. When you're scraping silicone off, it always leaves some, especially you can see that on the tile, and it's been put on with someone's thumb or big toe. So I've heard this stuff, remove sealants and adhesives, is the stuff to use. So what I'm going to do, spray that all on this silicone. And then how long you have to leave it. Don't say. Fast acting. Anyway, I'll leave it for 5 minutes, have a cup of tea, and then I've got this, which my mate Ben gave me, which is like a Stanley blade, scraping blade. So that's what I'm using to scrape the silicone off. So you remember this side, we had this stuff that was left over on the tile. I would say that is coming off a little bit easier actually. So yeah, I like that. It's wet, but it is coming off quite easy. BT1 sealant is new from CT1, so I'm trying that today. And while I'm talking about silicone, do not buy this Raptor silicone gun from Plumb Centre. Even if you've lost yours and you just need one for one job, this broke after one job. Literally the handle, you see there, it just bent as soon as I squeezed it. Absolute shit, do not waste your money. You can buy, when you go into the merchants, they normally have just a generic silicone gun hanging on the side that are a few quid, and they are normally, you know, half decent. This one, it has been shit, so do not buy. And that's the finished job. I really don't enjoy work like this anymore. I used to do it all the time, but this is just for a landlord friend. So there's the new M5, I think it was. New silicone up to the shower, behind the taps. Really don't enjoy doing this kind of work. No satisfaction in it for me all these days. But when I was obviously throughout my career, this would have been like a regular job. But if I can help it these days, I won't do well like this because I just don't enjoy it. I'd rather stay at home. Right, that's me done. So I've renewed the silicone, even though it's quite a big gap, so it don't look amazing. But then again, I never get any satisfaction from doing jobs like these. I stopped doing bathroom stuff and I stopped doing rental stuff ages ago, but this was for a friend, so there's just no job satisfaction in it. I don't enjoy doing it, so it's not something I'm going to make a habit of these days. But when I was younger and when I obviously running my company for the last 20 years, this would be like an everyday job, especially doing the rental work, but I just don't enjoy it anymore, so don't take them on. I'd be interested to know, would you guys have done the same? Just remove the tiles that needed removing and done what I did, or would you have done it differently? Would you have quoted them to you know, replace the whole lot? What would you have done? But yeah, just one of them jobs. Glad to get it done, glad to be out of here. So this is what I used to get that silicone off, and it worked really well, and it surprised me, but only because, let me tell you the story of this. So I had a can of this. Weirdly, my dad got it. It's exactly like the kind of thing my mum and dad do. He got me a can of this for Christmas one year, and I had it on the van, and I'm sure it said multi-purpose cleaner on it or something. It didn't say remove sealants on the bottle when I had it on the can. So I was using it to get stickers off like shower enclosures and stickers off boilers and just stuff like that. And it weren't until I saw someone on Instagram using it for sealants. So when I'd basically ran out of my other bottle, I bought a new bottle and it says remove sealants on it. So that's why I used it, and it does it really well. It came off really easy, so definitely worth having on the van, because it's great for getting stickers off boilers and shower screens and stuff like that, and like marks off baths. But it also removes sealant really well. So yeah, it's made by the company that do CT1. You should be this. They have this on the shelf in my merchants. It's a small independent, so I'm sure you'll get it from your plumb centre or City Plumbing or wherever you use.
Good morning. Right, so this job here is replacing this valent. I came out to this last week and it's a right old state. The front cover was missing its insulation, so that makes it AR, but it's got a catalogue of errors on this. It's now starting to trip fuses. It's just in a right old state. Looks like the flue seal's gone at some point. So anyway, the customer decided he doesn't want to spend the money on it, so we're going to replace the boiler. This is on LPG here, so I said I want to be as efficient as possible, so we're going to put Wiesmann 200 in. We've got 18 radiators upstream, which wants to add a few more on extension. And the cylinder is the original to the house, so 20 years oldish, and it's kind of up there by about half a metre or so. So yeah, we're going to replace the cylinder as well, bring that down here so we can 4-pipe the 200 boiler into this cylinder, and then I'm going to bring a hot and cold down to suit. There is hot and cold behind here, but it's only 15mm for the utility room, but I want to find the main cold up in the floor space here and see if we can bring that down and make a tidy job of it, and an efficient job as well. But I've got Pete here tomorrow. I'm just here today to get the boiler off the wall, get everything onto site, and then Pete's going to come and give me a hand. Looks like some sort of leak on that wall as well with all these salts. Yeah, see how we get on. Let's see what we can do with it. Quick update. So boiler is on the wall, all stripped out. Just getting ready for tomorrow, because that's when things are really going to start speeding up. Got connections on the bottom of the boiler. I'm going to put the old cylinder into the garage tomorrow using the hot here and the cold through the other side. I'm going to get it in temporarily. Got the new cylinder there, which is the OSO, so we'll do a bit more on that. Interesting cylinder, that is the super coil. So yeah, ready for tomorrow now. We can really start smashing into it. I've identified what I need to do upstairs, but yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to look tidy when we're done. We've got a low loss header in here and the system pump. It's all going to look really tidy.
Well, I've just arrived on this job with Glenn, fitting this Wiesmann and Ozo water cylinder, moving the cylinder from upstairs above there down to here next to the boiler. Glenn's got his kit set up, got a nice little setup there, his Festool drawer fittings boxes and charge station all on the go. First job for me, I'm getting the header made up. So I am using the Loctite 577 to get these press adapters in, and then also we've got to get these connections, and these always, for some reason, these always leak or they weep. So basically I am pasting the face, and I've got these fibre washers to go on, so I'm making this up now, because what we've got to work out once we've made this up, it goes into this lagging jacket, and we obviously need to clip it to the wall, so we've got to work out what distance we're going to clip it. We're going to use that rail, and then obviously we've got to connect it onto the pipes and onto the boiler, but that's what we're doing at the minute. So out of these two bars, 28mm copper, and then we've got these reducing tees for our temperature gauges, and they also do bar pressure, so just got a little bit of Loctite on the thread, and let's tighten that one into there. And I've got another one to go on the flow as well. It's going to look nice. The trouble with the thing with anything like this is tightening it up and getting it to look right, because you can go, like, you know, when you're doing an outside tap, you get it to the point where you think it's tight, but it's the tap's upside down. This is going to be close, it's getting quite tight now. Somewhere about there, I reckon. A little bit more. That'll do. And the other way that it can go wrong is when you get to that point where you think that's where I want it to be, and it's still really loose, so you know that you've got to go further, but you're probably going to finish up halfway to where you want to be. But they've worked out all right, they're both tight, and they're both looking just about level. You can hear Glenn is now up in the airing cupboard, so he's ripping out the old cylinder, because we've got to work out how to get the hot supply from our new cylinder. I don't know how far it is, I'm thinking it's that way. It sounds like it's that way a bit. We've got to get a hot pipe through there. So while he's doing that, I'm running two 28mm primaries down here, and then I've just got to work out how high to put that to obviously connect onto the boiler connections and then go up the wall as well. So that's what I'm doing while he's doing that up there. So using this Hilti rail, basically this is to hold the header on the wall because it's quite heavy, so you're going to have two bits of rail either side, and then these, because they're spring loaded, you can just move them up and down. So I'm setting them to the centre of my pipes to then get the clips on. It's good stuff. You can buy it in like 2 metre lengths, and obviously cut it down to what you want to use it. This works out slightly dearer than the Wild Raven equivalent, but I mean, I've used that Wild Raven before and it was a little bit of a faff, whereas this, you just push it down and slide it, and then when you've chosen where your final position is, just tighten that up and it locks it in. So maybe you save a bit of time using this over the Wild Raven stuff. Hilti, buy it direct. So and then got these rubber line clips, they'll go on there, and then support that. Gonna have one on the other side support that. We don't need any clips on this pipework, because by the time that header's in, it's going to be what, 4 inch of pipework, so it's not worth clipping it. And then we've got a pump to cut in on the flow there. So I'm just going to work all this out, set it up, and then I'm going to have to take it apart again, because I've got to get the press tool into that one. So I'm going to do the return first, get that all pressed, then I'll get the flow in, get that all pressed, and then do the boiler, because that'll be the easy one. Downstairs. We're going to reuse it temporarily for tonight to get hot water.
Come on. You.
There we go. So just brought this mega flow down to the garage. Basically, just drilled through the wall, connected into the sink at the side, hot and cold supplies, and then we're gonna run some speed fit from here temporarily onto this and plug it in so that they've got hot water, because it's an elderly couple, so we can leave them hot water and while we're doing the rest of it. Right, I just took the floor above the old mega flow out. Now I've got to work out what pipes do what.
Got 3 colds going up. I reckon that's the main feed up,
Yeah.
and then distributing through the house. There was no balanced on this, bizarrely. That's hot distributing through the house, which goes that way, which I wasn't expecting. And then the heating side is fairly simple. I can just link them to each other. But yeah, well, interesting, isn't it?
What's that open-ended pipe in the corner? 28 mil?
I don't know what that
Are
is.
these cups the same?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not too
I
sure.
think mine was the green one. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's mine.
Well, I meant to have one with sugar in them.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
We'll find out. Actually, thank you very much, Gary.
Cheers, guys.
Yep, sugar. Got it. Okay, so this pipe here is our flow from the boiler. That would have gone up into the cylinder for the hot water. Okay, so I'm going to explain what some of these pipes are. This one's the discharge D2. Now that is actually, that goes down on the wall next to the boiler in the garage. So I'll talk to you again about that in a second. You got the flow from the boiler, which then goes up, fed the hot water and into there for the flow for the heating. So all we've got to do is take this zone valve off and connect this pipe here to this pipe here. This can go and this can go. And then our return comes through here, picks up the return from the cylinder and then returns back down to the boiler there. So we've got to cut that and connect that on there because we don't need this part anymore. And then we've got rising main, cold comes up, feeds the cylinder and then goes off to the rest of the house, bathrooms and stuff. And then once the cylinder's full, that's the hot water outlet, which then goes down there and then splits off to the house. So we need to get a 22mm cold and a 22mm hot, we think, through that wall into the void behind there, and then that way and down into the garage. Or Glenn just said if we're going to struggle with that, we might be able to use this. So connect this to our cold, and then where that is in the garage, because we don't need a D2 up here anymore because this is just going to be an empty cupboard, we can do it that way. We'll let you know what we end up doing. So as you can see, a very temporary hot and cold feed run across the ceiling so we can still walk under it. Teed into the cold mains, that's now live, so if we turn that on,
That's good.
and that should start filling the cylinder. It's a bit airy. There we go. And then this is the hot into the house, just connected under the kitchen sink. So open that, and then when this is full, and we're just wiring in an extension lead for the immersion, they can have hot water while we're working. So we've got, what's it called, an Ozo what?
Oso super coil.
Super coil. Yeah, super. So all the connections, rather than be off the sides, come out the top. And then you get this wall template to show you how to pipe it. Got expansion vessels pre-connected.
This has also got a blending valve on it as well. So if you're heating to 60, 70 degrees, you get 20% more hot water out because it blends it down to what it needs to be.
Sick. This is 180 litres. What we've got down there, is that drain point?
That's drain point for the front, yeah. And then D2, one pipe.
Yeah. Nice. So Glenn is just pumping air up into the expansion vessel. That was on the old system. We're going to reuse it because we think it's okay, but you've seen on my videos before. What I'll do is pump it up, leave it for 10-15 minutes and see if the pressure goes down. If it does, it's fucked. If it's okay, we'll reuse it. No point wasting it if it's still okay. And then what I'm doing now, because Glenn's just been merchants, I'm just cutting in the pump valves because we've got a pump to go here on the flow. So I'm just doing that. This hot water cylinder temporary is all connected now with the immersion on, so that's warming up. So yeah, we're cooking on gas now. Just to let you know, while I'm cutting this in, these are all pressed. These are all pressed, but where it goes into the actual header, they're not pressed because I knew I would have to move that pipe to get these valves in. So just a little update for you because we're almost done for the day and I'm not here tomorrow. We thought because the tap-ins weren't on the side, it was going to be a lot easier to pipe up, but every pipe has got across each other, so it worked out it wasn't easier. Bent that one down, you see there, and sort of dog-legged it because I've got to get this cover on. You only get a small cut out, but other than that, it's been all right. Everything's pretty much piped up. We've just got the gas to finish, connect the expansion vessel and filling loop onto the system. What else have we got to do? The flue's done, that went out really easy. Obviously we've got to disconnect this temporary cylinder and connect the hot and cold onto the new one. But you'll have a nice day tomorrow, won't you, mate?
Easy, mate, easy. That's what we like.
I've done all the hard work for him today.
So, the job is done. Got a tiny bit of lagging left to do. Tape it up a little bit. The new cylinder is in and connected. I absolutely love these. All that kind of top connection malarkey, really like it. All concealed. It's kind of what I wanted, really. Managed to 4-pipe it using the entry kit for the sensor to live in there, which is great. I've left a coil of cable up for the electrician to get a few spare in here once that's done. But this is working absolutely fabulously. I set it up kind of before the weekend to obviously heat the house, and I kind of set it up quite high. The client's had to down it twice since. So if we go into the settings, we can see that the board at the moment is only running at 2.5 kilowatts, which is fantastic. This being on LPG, I wanted this to really modulate, and I've set the curve up absolutely spot on now. So that's I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, we can see if I take us into the heating curve, I've left it at 1.5 on this property. It's quite large, quite a number of radiators, quite well insulated, so that seems to be absolutely spot on. So we've got target temp of 19 at the moment. If I go into the heating circuit, we can see that the room temperature is 21. I've got an additional controller in the house which is picking that up, so we're a tad warmer, although that is in the middle of the house, and I've got a fire in the living room next door, so that could be contributing to that. But I've reduced the curve to compensate that, so we shall see next time I come back if that's kind of more accurate. Hot water is 56 degrees. That took a total of about 17-18 minutes when I heated from cold earlier, so I'm really pleased with that. Singular D2, which I really like. I'm just going to put some trunking up for that cable for the sensor. And yeah, we're about there. low loss header sensor is in the jacket and at the back. I've cable tied that on. That's the EMP1, which controls the pump from the boiler, and I've got a plus bus connection in there from the controller in the middle of the house. So it's all getting there. External expansion is from upstairs. I've reused that. That's fine. Yeah, really pleased in the end. Quick turnaround, but got it done.